Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the main news on Camnet TV with me, Sylvia Zulu. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. No one can unseat me in 2026, pause, says HH. Cost of living increases by 440 kwacha. SCC nabs 2 prosecutors for corruption. In international news, Ukraine claims killing of Russian general in Moscow. And in sports news, Warriors and NKANA share sports. I will be back with the details shortly after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us, and now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has expressed confidence that it will be extremely challenging for any political individual to unseat him in the 2026 presidential elections, citing his 23 years of experience in opposition as a strong foundation for his leadership. Speaking at the launch of the ruling United Party for National Development UPND mobilization campaign, President Hichilema emphasized that the country's progress under his leadership will speak for itself during the pause. He urged UPND members to remain focused on party mobilization, noting that their resilience over the years was key to the party's rise to power. The president also advised members against being swayed by misleading social media messages, but should instead focus on tangible achievements the UPND has made in its 3 years in government. Among the successes cited by President Hichilema are debt restructuring, the employment of nearly 50,000 teachers, the introduction of free education, the reintroduction of meal allowances, and the launch of the Voluntary National Service Program, which is set to begin next year. In response to the ongoing drought crisis, UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda said prayers would be held tomorrow for divine intervention as the party's vision is being disrupted by the challenging weather conditions.
While it remains unclear who tossed to the early Christmas gift through the outcome of the Kawamba parliamentary by-election slated for 20th December, and 5 political parties, including the ruling United Party for National Development UPND, contest for the parliamentary seat of about 27,885 registered voters, Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has breathed fire to political players seeking to unseat him. Speaking during the relaunch of the party's mobilization at the Anderson Kambela Mazoka House, the head of state says it will be challenging to unseat him as the country's #1 citizen, owing to his 23 years of experience in opposition and subsequent development of his government scored just within 3 years. While addressing the UPND members, the president said he has no time to respond to his critics that have labeled him names as he's busy working for the citizens to deliver development. He says people will not stop talking even with the increase of the Constituency Development Fund to 36.1 million kwacha in 2025 from 30.1 million kwacha, and the reintroduction of the Voluntary National Service Program, which is set to begin next year.
But they will continue talking. You must know that. Don't lose your way. UPND members. Munaonako muntu ayenda tundiramu wewe yamene bantu bose bazambya batenga manzi ayenda tunda mukati mugodi otenga manzi ekyekyo UPND yakwera yikirina manzi akwera pamutenga aseka noseka nopanga byombo yikirina mamene anatundiramu
Meanwhile, in response to the ongoing drought crisis, Party Secretary General Batuga Imenda revealed that prayers would be held tomorrow to seek divine intervention as the party's vision is being disrupted by the challenging weather conditions.
Saved by the drought in this country. The president's dream and the vision is being disturbed by the drought. So, the drought is controlled by God. Because the drought is controlled by God, we can only look up to God for redemption. So, tomorrow at Cathedral Church, we'll invite all of you to come and give the president and the national leaders the support that he needs as we pray for rains tomorrow.
The relaunch of the party mobilization was aimed at cementing the efforts of the structures. At the event, President Hichilema urged UPND members to remain focused on party mobilization and advised them to avoid being swayed by misleading social media messages. As the 2026 election mood slowly gains momentum, efforts by all political players remain vital for the country's democracy. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The cost of living for a family of 5 in Lusaka has increased by 440 kwacha 31 ngwe, bringing the basic needs and nutrition basket to 10,833 kwacha 47 ngwe, according to the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR. JCTR Social and Economic Development Program Manager Edward Musosa attributes the rise to significant price hikes in essential food and non-food items. These increases are driven by adverse weather conditions and escalating production costs. Mr. Musosa says the government's declaration of the ongoing dry spell for the 2024-2025 farming season as a disaster highlights the worsening impact of climate change on food security. The key contributors to the rising cost include price surges in vegetables, the Tanganyika sardine commonly known as kapenta, and mealie.
The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection has recorded an increase in the cost of living for Lusaka families as reflected in the basic needs and nutrition basket for December 2024. The BNNB for a family of 5 now stands at 10,833 kwacha and 47 ngwe, up by 440 kwacha and 31 ngwe from 10,393 kwacha and 16 ngwe in November 2024. This rise reflects significant price hikes in essential food and non-food items, compounded by adverse weather conditions and rising production costs. The government's declaration of the ongoing dry spell for the 2024-2025 farming season as a disaster underscores the worsening impact of climate change on food production. Weather-related challenges, which have already driven up food prices in 2024, are expected to persist and worsen in 2025, further worsening food insecurity and cost of living pressures. JCTR has found that some of the key drivers of price increases in our December 2024 BNNB data include the following essential items. Vegetables in the quantities of up 40 kg went up by 188 kwacha and 73 ngwe from 537 kwacha and 15 ngwe in November to 725 kwacha and 88 ngwe in December.
The Anti-Corruption Commission, SEC, has arrested 2 Kalomo-based prosecutors for alleged corrupt practices involving 17,000 kwacha. In a statement issued in Lusaka today, SEC Head of Corporate Communications, Timothy Mono, identified the suspect at Julius Banda, 40, and Mwandi Muyubana, 40. Mr. Mono said Banda and Mubumbana were each charged with 1 count of corrupt practices by a public officer. It is alleged that between July 1st, 2022 and August 19th, 2022, Banda, a public prosecutor, solicited 7,000 kwacha from 2 individuals in exchange for securing a judgment in favor of a named accused person. Muyumbana is similarly accused of soliciting 10,000 kwacha from an individual during the same period to influence a court decision. The 2 have been granted 10,000 kwacha bond and are scheduled to appear before the Livingstone Subordinate Court on February 24, 2024 for plea and possible commencement of trial. Meanwhile, police in Lusaka have arrested a Lebanese businessman for allegedly defrauding a Chinese man of $799.950 United States dollars on the pretext of facilitating the purchase of the rare timber species Mukula from the Zambia Forestry and Forest Industry Corporation Zafico. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga confirmed the arrest of 40-year-old Ali Hassan Yeha of Makeni Bonaventure for allegedly obtaining money by false pretenses between June and August 2021. Mr. Hamonga said Yeha claimed that he would supply containers of Mukula timber to Jim Zhao in a deal that turned out to be fraudulent. Mr. Hamonga says the matter was reported on May 10, 2024 by Simusokwe Kajia, a businessman on behalf of Mr. Zhao. He said police apprehended Yeha on December 16, 2024 after investigations.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to inform the public that a report of obtaining money by false pretenses was received on the 10th of May 2024 around 18 hours at Woodlands Police Station. The report was made by Mr. Simusowe Kazia, age 36, a businessman on behalf of Mr. Jing Zhao, a Chinese national. The report indicated that unknown persons obtained money amounting to $799,950 United States dollars under the pretext of facilitating the purchase of containers of Mukula timber from Zafico, when in fact no such arrangement existed. This fraudulent activity is alleged to have occurred between June 2021 and August 3, 2021 at a known time in Lusaka. Following this report, investigations were immediately instituted. On December 16, 2024, at approximately 10 hours, police apprehended Mr. Ali Hussein Yehia, aged 40, a Lebanese national, residing at plot number 6864 McCain Bonaventure. Mr. Yehia, a businessman, was detained in police custody, formally arrested and charged for the offense of obtaining money by false pretenses, and released on the 17th of December 2024 on a police bond. He is scheduled to appear in court soon. The Zambia Police Service continues to prioritize the investigation and prosecution of cases involving financial crimes to ensure that justice is served and perpetrators are held accountable. We urge members of the public to exercise due diligence when engaging in financial transactions and to promptly report any suspected fraudulent activities to the police.
Residents of Namengo in Nalikwanda constituency of Mongo district have reacted with outrage after a 45-year-old man assaulted his child by burning his face. Mwana Mbuya Mayeya, 40, the brother of the suspect identified as Mayeya, said his brother's action was downright criminality and called on the police to bring him to book. The child's mother, Florence Matipa, has told Camnet TV News that besides harming the child with fire, Mr. Mayeya allegedly has a tendency of beating the boy for no apparent reason. Other residents said Mr. Mayeya is a danger to society and should not be left scot-free.
A 6-year-old boy, given Muyangwa of Kashasha village in Namengo area of Nalikwanda constituency in Mungu district, has survived some face burn after his biological father attempted to harm him. A child experiencing abuse and neglect is at risk of physical injury besides physical harm. This child may also suffer psychological and emotional trauma. And the residents of Namengo area have expressed their concerns towards the brutal, cruel action by the father to Given Muyangwa, who harmed him on Saturday.
Kulichala mbali mwana kuipepela yo akona kumweza chana chale na mtu usilivo wachisa kisikebenga wabula chelo kamuso lwa kupatuso akuliba kone kulutusa bwana bamuso kuli bakone kulweza chana sikebenga chana yo maemo
mtu yaeza chwana mwana hae chale mbali yaeza chwana mwana hae kialu kupa kuba muso kuli bakole kulubonela yena sikebenga sichwana bakole kuluswalela sona
akuna zini kona kubulela akuli mtu yako na kweza chwalo mwana hae nebe wena mtu usili wako na kubula kupa kumina mulao mulubonele fateni yako na kweza chwalo nebe mtu usili wako na kukubaba ula kapa kubula.
The residents have since called on the police to apprehend the culprit and bring him to book, stating that they are now living in fear.
Mwala akozi ye chwana ye nge ikambe kina mwala akozi ye kakuli mbali kupala mwana ye wakuipepela aiza chwana chole yaswana nge nabo kapa mwana yo mumuko na kweza chwani siwabula akupa muso tayo to inganda tayo nikupa kuli muso mutu yaeza chwana kumwana hayi wakuipepela chole mbali nabo iyo kikutama mobonela sala muso nina kuna mweni bonezi.
Speaking to Camnet News, the mother to the boy, Florence Matipa, says even her life is now in danger as the man always beats her and her child nearly every day.
Chongo fye kunguma kumomwana kuchitashani kumwana mwala mwipaya lena kumfwa kusisika kumulu kuisa kumenso konse muliro nga walanda kupapene kukwalukira kukuma wawina.
Matipa, who comes from the copper belt, lives in fear from his husband, who always threatens to kill her and is appealing for any assistance from all well-wishers.
Ndelo mbako fye kungafulisha kofe transport na yamkufika kumwesi na fumafye kuno kuchupo chishupo na nafirwa muna na shikisha bafula nefwa fye ndelo mbako fye bangafwe kofye ukubasha fye no kuba wabo fye fine bashala ko mwindi kuti bafwa ko mndu mwana kashinomba ine nafirwamo.
Mutsebo Kabira, Camnet News, Mungu District, Western Province.
The Southern African Institute for Policy and Research, SAIPA, has called for significant reforms in Zambia's judiciary to enhance its independence and efficiency. In a recent policy brief, SAIPA said despite constitutional changes in 2016 intended to make the judiciary self-accounting, its financial operations remain under the control of the executive due to its dependence on the Ministry of Finance. University of Zambia senior law lecturer and SAIPA research fellow Dr. O'Brien Kaba, identified challenges in the appointment and removal processes for judges, noting a lack of transparency and independence in these systems. The policy brief also pointed to Kenya as a model for judiciary autonomy, where the judiciary manages its own budget and submits it directly to Parliament, ensuring greater independence.
How we address judges and how they dress themselves are intended to portray power. But those are outdated ideas. I think the British were a monarch, is it? So we are not a monarch, is it? For example, when you call a judge, my lord, but then we are not a monarch. What is the lord over, is it? So the way we dress, the wigs, all those things, they existed at a particular time, but the time has moved on. So why would someone today wear black robes and a wig in the October heat? It doesn't make sense at all. Does it improve service delivery? Not at all. Does it convey any specific meaning to the ordinary litigant? I don't see any. So, but then why should we maintain all those?
So why are we calling for independence of the judiciary in a particular context? Why are we talking about judicial reforms today? It is important that government arms are separate from each other, not so that they should not be able to discharge the mandate under the Constitution, but so that no one arm of the government is subject to another or controlled by another, either directly or indirectly, because that is the basis of our democracy. We have come together as a people in this country, ceded some of our powers to our leaders, and created a document by which we say we will be governed.
The judiciary missed an opportunity in that case. I think the judiciary itself was given a chance to stake its independence in that case. And I was one of the people who was very disappointed with how the case ended, because I thought that the judges would come out very strong and claim independence. I think in any struggle that you have, independence is not given to you. You have to take it. And the judiciary also has to put in an effort to stake its own independence.
Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu has announced that Zambia will waive visa requirements for nationals of 53 countries effective January 1st, 2025. The move is part of the government's ongoing efforts to enhance Zambia's position as an attractive destination for tourism, business, trade, and investment. The new visa waiver increases the total number for countries whose nationals are exempt from visa requirements to 167. This is expected to open up economic opportunities, particularly in tourism, trade, and job creation, contributing to the country's overall economic growth. Mr. Mwimbu says while Zambia is committed to facilitating easier access for international travelers, national security remains a priority. The minister says the Department of Immigration is also working on implementing an advanced passenger information system to boost the border security and manage the anticipated increase in traveler numbers.
Trained the Department of Immigration efforts into the country. However, then the unprecedented recruitment of 714 immigration assistants alongside 193 border guards in under 2 years who undoubtedly help the department to strengthen post-entry management, especially in the wake of the waiving of visa requirements for more countries. Through the same statutory instrument, government has gazetted 4 new internal immigration controls in Chongwe, Mamba, Kalumbila, and Chilelabombwe, as well as 2 new border controls, namely Lonshi and Lumi. The opening of these new operational areas will enhance enforcement of immigration laws in these previously underserved places. The 53 countries whose nationals will no longer require a visa
to enter Zambia are as per list that will be shared with you. In conclusion, the government remains committed to its vision of Zambia becoming a hub for international business and tourism.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has set February 6th, 2025 as the date on which to hold the Petauke Central Parliamentary by-elections. The seat fell vacant due to the absence of fugitive Petauke Central Member of Parliament Emmanuel J. Banda from the sitting of the House since August 4th, 2024. ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Lohanga said in a statement issued in Lusaka today that aspiring candidates should lodge completed and attested statutory declaration and nomination papers on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Ms. Lohanga also says the Commission will on the same date hold ward by-elections in Ntanga of Mpongwe District on the Copper Belt and Litawa Ward of Mongu District in Western Province. The seats fell vacant after the death of Ntanda Ward Councillor Adrian Chilibwa and Litibwa Ward Councillor Moses Munyunda on November 20th and November 9th, 2024, respectively. Nearly appointed Socialist Party Youth Secretary Stanley Mubasa has urged the Ministry of Agriculture to provide clear guidance to farmers on the types of maize seed to plant, citing irregular rainfall patterns as a growing concern. Mr. Mubasa highlighted the need to draw lessons from last year's poor rainfall and emphasized the importance of preparedness to evade food insecurity in the coming year. He has called on the government to expedite the delivery of farming inputs, including basil and top dressing fertilizers, as well as seeds, to enable farmers to plant early and medium maturing maize varieties. Mr. Mubasa has also proposed a recruitment drive for agriculture extension officers to support farmers across the country, adding that the experts would play a crucial role in educating farmers on best practices and strategies to adapt to unpredictable weather conditions.
They should begin recruiting a lot of those extension officers. Some of them must be, put in, research institutions, such as the pharmacy Zari just here in Chilanga, where researches must be conducted to help the agriculture sector come up with better ways, better methods, better techniques, better formulas of ensuring that we improve on our farming techniques. This cannot go without being said. We don't expect that there will be excuses next year, because this situation repeating itself this year was there last year, and the leadership has to prepare for such a calamity and devise a formula to respond to the needs of the people. In agriculture exercises, they should be there to do all sorts of farming. In whatever small way they can manage, they must do this. This is a directive that we received, and this is what we are beginning to do. All of us are now beginning to practice, farming. We are also in food production in a small way. At least now, what a small field behind your yard, you are growing a tomato, you are growing rape, you are growing maize. This is because there is so much of expenditure that our people are going through. So for you to reduce that, you have to ensure that you begin moving into the direction of producing food. When that begins to be the case, you begin realizing that the expenditure at personal level begins to go down. But this can even be promoted when policies in the agriculture sector are designed in such a way that support, peasant agriculture and those individuals that wish to join the agriculture sector.
Meanwhile, Socialist Party Youth League Secretary Elias Banda has relinquished his position and resigned from the opposition political party. In a letter dated December 17, 2024, addressed to Socialist Party Secretary General Dr. Cosmas Musomali, Mr. Banda said his resignation is with immediate effect. Mr. Banda said he is highly indebted to the party for the opportunity bestowed on him to serve. Human rights champion and democracy specialist Nkande Mwanajiti has commended government for its efforts in supporting reforms on the death penalty. Mr. Mwanajiti praised President Hakainde Hichilema's administration for its commitment to abolishing the death penalty, describing it as a bold and progressive step. He highlighted Justice Minister Princess Kasuna's active role in endorsing an anti-death penalty resolution during the 10th resolution process, calling it a proud moment for Zambia. Mr. Mwanajiti explains that Zambia's long-standing contributions to global peace and security, dating back to the era of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, underscore the country's moral leadership.
Governance Advisory Note issued on 17th December 2024. It is on the UN General Assembly 10th resolution to put a moratorium on the death penalty. The administration of President Hichilema has been categorical on the unfortunate and avoidable death penalty. Justice Minister Princess Kasone is justifiably upbeat about doing Zambia proud by endorsing an anti-death sentence stamp during the 10th resolution process. The world, in my view, does not need senseless deaths, deaths which can be avoided. Historically, the role that Zambia played under the leadership of President Kaunda reminds us that there is no need to reinvent the wheel and no need to fix what is not broken. Indeed, it only makes sense to fix what is broken, and what is broken must be fixed. Zambia has played a pivotal role in the global peace and security, and this can be independently verified. The position of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, one of Zambia's serious international engagements, is to be highly commended. It is forward-looking and relevant to the cause. In this respect, the Zambian position agrees with the morally powerful Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and undoubtedly, Africa stands tall. Congratulations, President Hichilema, and congratulations, Minister Princess Kasone, for effectively executing the Zambian dream at the UN General Assembly 2024.
Gabriel Chama, Edith Mubanga, and over 4,000 other petitioners have filed a petition against the Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesha, seeking the payment of their unpaid retrenchment benefits dating back to 1998. The petition, which was filed on December 13, 2024, highlights the plight of these individuals who were among the clarified daily employees retrenched under the government's public service reform programs in 1998. The petitioners, who include Gabriel Chama from Kabangwe and Edith Mubanga from government farms Chunga in Lusaka, are suing on their behalf and on behalf of the other 4,000 petitioners scattered across various parts of the country. According to the petition, the petitioners are aggrieved that despite their retrenchment being a result of government reform programs, they have not been paid their full retrenchment benefits, unlike their colleagues who were in similar circumstances and received their dues. The petitioners argue that the failure to pay them their retrenchment benefits constitutes a violation of their constitutional right to equal application and protection of the law as guaranteed under Article 11, Clause A of the Zambian Constitution. The petitioners are seeking a declaratory order to confirm that they are similarly circumstanced with the individuals in the George Sangombe case who were also retrenched in 1998 and received their benefits in full. They are also seeking for an order to calculate their underpayments using the same formula applied in the George Sangambo case and to be paid the same amount. The petitioners are also seeking interest on the amounts found and requesting interest on the amounts found to be due, as well as cost to the proceedings. The petition highlights previous admissions by the government regarding underpayment of retrenchment benefits, particularly in letters dated October 3rd, 2005, October 4th, 2005, and December 12th, 2005, and emphasizes that the failure to pay the petitioners constitutes discrimination and unjustifiable denial of their rights. This is the main news on Camnet TV. We now take a set of commercials. I will be back with some international news as well as sports news. Keep watching.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260-763-062-680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. In international news, a senior Russian general was killed Tuesday by a bomb hidden in a scooter outside his apartment building in Moscow, a day after Ukraine Security Service leveled criminal charges against him. A Ukrainian official said the service carried out the attack. Lieutenant General Igor Krylovy, the chief of the military's nuclear, biological and chemical protection forces, was killed as he left for his office. Krylovy's assistant also died in the attack. Here's a roundup of international news.
The Ukraine Security Service said it killed Russian Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov in a special operation in Moscow. Kirillov led Russia's chemical, biological and radiation defense troops. He was targeted on Tuesday, a source in the agency confirmed. The general and his assistant died when a scooter rigged with explosive detonated. The blast occurred outside an apartment building at Ryazansky Avenue in the southeastern Moscow. The 54-year-old Krylov was under sanction from several countries, including the UK, Canada, for his actions in Russia's special military operations in Ukraine. On Monday, Ukraine charged Krylov in absentia with war crimes. In October, Britain sanctioned him for alleged chemical weapon use in Ukraine. Russia's top state investigative agency said it's investigating Krylov's death as a case of terrorism, and officials in Moscow vow to punish Ukraine. Emergency services in Liberia responded to a fire at the Parliament building in Monrovia on Wednesday. Its opposition-led protest stretched into a second day. Authorities have not yet determined the cause of the fire, but President Joseph Boakai visited the scene, condemned the wanton destruction and ordered an investigation. The protest stemmed from efforts to remove Konati Kofa, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, over alleged corruption. Demonstrators are also demanding President Boakai's